What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. I have a potential outcome that I'd like to discuss with OnyxCoin that doesn't involve us going above this high, but maybe going back up around it. And it's something that I've noticed. I was paying attention to going all the way back here. We'll just kind of walk through it together, okay? So here, and I know it's kind of obscure, but just trust me, right? Low here, relative low to relative high. You notice where we found support, right here in the golden ratio. And then before we started moving down, do you notice where we went to? We went all the way up to the 236, right? And then beginning our next phase down, right? So golden ratio, low, relative high from our last pivot, golden ratio to 236, right? You came down, you found support here, and then you found resistance up there, the 236. Kind of uncommon, but it happens. Okay. Um, Probably don't get that here. That was February 3rd. So I'm not going to use the February 3rd lows. I have taken that out of context. So I don't use that anymore. The February 3rd lows, because I think it was like fake price action. It just happened in low volume areas. I don't consider it as real. And if we don't consider it as real, and I haven't in my analysis, and I feel like that's fine. It is there. It is real price. It does happen, but I'm not considering it in my analysis. I call that a scam wick, right? And that's okay. Sometimes you have to discern that for yourself. Maybe it makes sense, maybe it doesn't. But if you notice, low to high, found support at the golden ratio, and then where'd you go? You found resistance right at the 236 before moving down, didn't you? Right? Kind of funny how that happened twice. Maybe I'm nitpicking though. Let's see if it keeps happening. All right, let's go from this low here to this high, and if you notice, boom, right to the golden ratio, and where did we go? A little bit above the 236 there, but still golden ratio up and then down, huh? Right after these significant pivots all the way through, right? Um, let's see. Right, it's low to high that we're looking for. So these ones probably not, right? This one probably, I mean, maybe even here. Let's see. Low to high here. Golden ratio up to the 236 and then down, right? Even on a small scale, even there, it happened, right? You see what's happening? Are the dots connecting? Low here, high there, below the golden ratio this time, so it doesn't apply. Whatever, that's okay. Oh, right here, this is a significant pivot. Low here to high here. Golden ratio, no, 0.5, but still up to the 236. Still up to the 236. And then here we are now, from a low to a high, finding support at the golden ratio. Any thoughts come to mind, right, where we might go? We'll probably come back up, I think, to 1 cent. It'd be nice if we can crush this, if we can go higher and we can go to 1.2 cents or beyond. You guys know that I'm excited about that. That's a very positive notion. But right now, being at about 0.0096, I think it's a safe call, or maybe even an expected call to make, that we would go to 1.033, somewhere around there. Or actually, it'd be $0.01033, but 1.033 cents. We might go just above it. We might go just below it. We might hit it specifically, whatever. But that's where I think we're going to go. Okay. Looking at the 4-hour RSI, we are in this area where we could bounce, right off the 40. Sometimes you bounce off the 60, you bounce off the 40, you come up, you bounce off the 60, you ping pong, and then you finally go down, right? We've seen this before, right? Literally just like this, rejected up here, 40, 60, and then down, boom. Or sorry, 60, 40, 60, and then down, my bad. 40, 60 down, 60, 40, 60 down. 60, 40, 60 down. Perhaps that's what we see. And that makes sense, right? Because if Bitcoin moves up, if it does continue to move up, or at the very least it's not dropping dramatically today, that gives XCN and other altcoins a chance to move up. Now, it's not a significant move up, but it's a something. It's a something, my friends. It's a little something. Maybe we move up to like that area right there, right? If we were to drop from there another 14% or so, right? Because Bitcoin's going to drop 14% or so. I doubt that we drop in line with Bitcoin, but that does set us up for a higher low. If we drop a little bit more than Bitcoin, that sets us up for a double bottom or a slightly lower low. And if we do drop at a higher pace than Bitcoin, maybe 28% or so, that gets us set up for that 007.5 area, which is also anticipated, right? Anything and everything in between. It's still completely possible that this is the low, but it's until we get validation, it's not for me to say, right? I can theorize it, I can hope for it, I can pray to the crypto gods, to the bears, to the bulls. Please, bullish crabs, please do not take out this low. Justin Sun, please uphold our land of the rising sun. We have made very nice altars in your name. I would like it if I could keep mine. I've put a lot of work into it, and it's very, very nice. So I would like to not tarnish my altar. I would like to not throw it away. I would like to not destroy it. But if we go, if you forsake us, if you don't hold to your end of the bargain and with or uphold the land of the rising sun, we might just have to destroy the altars. But I have a feeling, guys, that what's going to happen is, if and when we do go below the land of the rising sun, it'll be so short-lived that if you don't kick your altars down immediately, your idols to Justin Sun, it's probably gonna be, we're probably gonna be right back up, and there will be no need to in the first place, right? I think it's gonna be a very short-lived experience if it happens, right? All jokes aside, if we happen to go below the lowest prices here at this area, if we happen to go below the land of the rising sun, I doubt it's going to be long-lived, and in fact, it might be the most opportune buying moment for OnyxCoin, for XCN, right? But time will tell. We'll see how it goes. At the current moment, I am expecting that we go up a little bit, just a little bit, nothing to get excited for. What would be exciting, again, you guys know what would be exciting, right? And we can really start to gain more faith, I would say, in the land of the rising sun here, is if we get above 1 point. Maybe I'm speaking just for myself because I'm not having too much faith right now. I'm not saying that it's a guarantee that we go lower than this, lower, that we go below the land of the rising sun. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but I'm a little bit skeptical at this moment, right? Because I can't see Bitcoin dropping 14% and this thing dropping less than 20%. I can't see it happening. But maybe it happens, or maybe Bitcoin drops 14% or more and we're at a higher price, and then it does drop more than 20%, but we have a higher low overall, something like that. But at the moment, I'm not too hopeful for a 1.2 cent price or above. I'm actually more hopeful for something, or more realistic maybe, towards something at about 1.5 cent, 1.0, or not even 1.5, my bad, 1.05 cents, 1.03 cents, somewhere in that area. A lower high right here, and we're probably just going to slowly bleed our way down until Bitcoin really gets underway with its drop, and then we might commence this drop here sometime this week, you guys. It's supposed to happen, at least in my head, it's supposed to happen over the coming days. Either, maybe by the end of today we start to move down, probably not, but tomorrow, the next day, it's going to happen. And then this will all be one bad dream, and we can look to the skies and celebrate regardless of whatever area we're holding up in price. We can celebrate the new high prices that we're going to see. I don't know how people are bearish on this thing, man. I really don't. The one thing that makes sense to me as far as like why we would find support here is, again, we have 9 weeks to the downside. That's pretty significant, right? And that's normally an area that, like, traditional investors, if there are any traditional investors in OnyxCoin, I don't know, maybe not. 9 weeks to the downside is like an area that you would hold even as momentary support. But here, if we have momentary support at all, if we break through, we start to show that we're breaking out of this flag to the upside, there's going to be a lot of bullish momentum to carry this thing through. We'll likely see a move that's just like this, right? Literally to a T, coming into June here, moves all the way up to 20 cents or more. That's the expectation, right? That has been the expectation for quite a while now. If we're looking at this from a low to a high here, we are below the 382. Ideally, by the end of this week, what we need to see, because last week we closed just below the 382 here. What we need to see is a close above the 382. We need this week to come up. We need to find our low this week, and we need a nice reaction. And obviously, coincidentally, conveniently, OnyxCoin likes to find its lows at a very rather rapid pace. So once we do find our lows, we get these immediate recoveries. So on the bright side, it could be 2 days, it could be 3 days, hell, it could be on Friday that we find our low, however low it is, right? Or I guess it'd be over here. It'd be a little bit faster than that, right? Friday would be right here, and we could still rip to the upside by the end of the week. You know what I mean? It doesn't need a lot of time to make these kind of recoveries. In fact, every single time that we found a low, we have had a rapid recovery. Now, if we do find our low here this week and we close somewhere around the 382, but we haven't closed quite above it, it's not all reasons to abandon hope yet. I still think that OnyxCoin would be in a very good position, good posturing, especially because a move like that, any kind of move back up from here, would just diverge us away from this descending trend line that we have, right? If we take this down, and again, I don't think this trend line is too significant, but it has been significant for a lot of OnyxCoin's recent history. Oh my goodness, I didn't even see that. Wow. Oh wow. And see, this is where I was saying the other day that we should just disregard this line, but maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe I was too harsh on you, line of truth and sanctity. Let's see here. See, move this down a little bit, right? Get it more accurate. Yeah. So what we did was we actually found support on this line, you guys. We found support on this line right here, and then we came back up. We're holding it. I don't know. That's actually really not a bad look. We broke through it a little bit. It's like a fake out to the downside, right? It's like the fake out to the upside here brought us down. Fake out to the downside brought us up. I don't know, man. I have hopes for this thing, but I'm not calling this the low, like, confidently. It could be the low, right? I wouldn't be surprised if it was a low, but I'm not, even if the price goes up from here, I'm not going to be like, well, I told you, we called the low perfectly. I didn't call it perfectly. I'm pretty damn uncertain, but you know, tomato, tomato, whatever. At that low, I was thinking that that was the relative low and that we'd pump. I didn't know if it was the actual low, but again, it still could be. We still have to see more before it is, right? It very well could be the low, but we need to see more. We haven't seen enough. This price is not enough to convince me that it's the low. 1.2 cents isn't even enough to convince me that it's the low, but man, I would start celebrating at that point. I probably would. But if we can get to 1.3, I think it's 1.35 cents or above. What is it? Let's see. Let's figure this out real quick. Hold on. Is it the 236 of this one? 1.375 cents. 1.375 cents. We get above there. That's when it's time to celebrate. The low's in. There's no arguing. I don't care who you are. If you want to argue, you're just arguing with yourself because the data would stand against you. We're breaking out from our overall downtrend. Our bull flag is breaking out. We're taking out this most recent pivot on the downtrend on the fibs, and we're reversing the trend itself. We're looking like we're ready to go. So 1.375 cents is a big deal. 2 cents will be a big deal. There's prices up even higher that'll be a big deal, of course, but I think the most immediate things to watch for are 1.2 to 1.375 cents, that area there. These are not promised areas. Just because I'm talking about them does not mean they have to happen right now. We can go lower first. This is not the low. We don't know if it's the low, but I'm just telling you guys what I'm looking for, what I'd like to see, and hopefully what we would all like to see. And don't get me wrong, if it goes lower, that wouldn't be bad either. We'd probably get some cheaper prices to buy. As of now, we're not. I wouldn't say we're at an area to expect to find resistance. Maybe. I mean, maybe. I would think that we go higher. I think that we do go higher, but time will tell. Let's see. 1 hour time frame. Getting overbought, bouncing right off the oversold zone like this, getting above the 40, that's a nice look. You just got to keep running with it. You got to keep running to the upside. 15-minute time frame looks bullish, looks like it wants to keep going up. I'm not worried about this volume, so what? Who cares? I don't know what it means. Maybe it's a bull, maybe it's a bear. Every sell is a buy, every buy is a sell, right? Whenever you sell to somebody, you're selling to somebody who's buying it. When you buy it from somebody, you're buying it from somebody who's selling it. So it's not selling volume just because it's red, okay? Selling volume, if it's ever to be a thing, like you need a very solid candle down with some above, that's selling volume there, right? And even then, you still reverse back upwards because the buying volume was more. But I think that we will at least go up to about 1.03 cents, if not higher. Higher is better. Higher is ideal, but we'll see if it happens, okay? Maybe by the end of today, maybe sometime tomorrow. But I don't believe that we're out of the woods yet. We have more dropping to go. Even if we are up here, we could still drop all the way back down to these areas or even just below that low there. It's very possible because even from the area of like 1.2 cents, if Bitcoin drops 14% and we drop, I guess, hey man, if we drop 28% to be completely fair, that'd be nice. But for this to happen, Bitcoin would basically have to commence its drop while XCN's at this price. If we move up here and we reject, we find some resistance and turbulence, and then by the time Bitcoin drops, we're at these prices. You know what I mean? It likely we could, I shouldn't even say likely, but we stand a chance to go below this low. So, and that little prod below 0082, which 0082 is the bottom area here of the land of the rising sun, that wouldn't be enough for me to take down my altars. But man, if we don't hold up 008, I am gonna take out my frustrations on nothing at all. Absolutely nothing at all. I don't have frustrations, man. I genuinely don't. I don't care. Go lower. I'll buy more. That's all I'm thinking right now. I will buy more, and I hope you're thinking that too. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Don't do what I'm doing. Do what you want to do, right? It's your money. And if anybody out there wants to blame me for money that they have lost. My question to you is, if you want to blame me for that, does that mean I owe you money, right? If that's what you're thinking, and you're like, yeah, that, you know what, I actually would. I would like that. Okay, deal. Fine, let's do that. But if you make money, then if you actually start to make money, am I cut for a percentage of that, right? If you're gonna make me pay, if you want me to pay for all of your losses, is that what you want? Then can I have all of your gains whenever it goes up? No, that's ludicrous, right? Why is that ludicrous? Why is that preposterous? It's because you're in charge of your money, not me. I'm not your banker. I'm not your financial advisor. You make your bed, you lay in it, and if it smells, don't blame me for it, man, okay? Maybe you bought at high prices. People ask me all the time, I don't know why, but people ask me all the time, and I've said this plenty of times, like, or they don't even ask, they just say, like, I know you're down and you're just clinging on to hope now, but guys, I bought at 0026 and below over a year ago. I'm sitting pretty. Anybody who bought when I bought, anybody who bought before this pump, nobody's panicking. No, nobody's panicking. Of course, hindsight, I wish I sold here so I could buy more here, but we never knew. Back here, we thought the price could have continued to go higher, right? I was expecting that we found resistance here because it was right at the 2618, but I didn't think that this drop would last this long. Back here, I thought February, March would be good, right? I thought that we'd have some good months, and clearly they weren't. I don't think I was the only person who thought that, but here we are, 2618, clear as day resistance. When we go up, you guys, even if you're not on board with the 20-cent prices, at least understand that the next fibs are 7.2 to 10 cents. Like that's the absurdly most bearish minimum targets I could muster up in my head. And we're at below 1 cent now. How are you bearish on this thing? How are you bearish on this thing? What's there to celebrate to the downside? We've constructed ourselves in a very, very, very nice and tight way. In a very short amount of time, we're about to break out and see some higher prices. And I hope I'm wrong, but I don't know if this low is going to hold, man. I think that we do go a little bit below it, but time will tell. If I am wrong, the reason why I hope I'm wrong is I'm just ready for this thing to fly, man. I'm ready for all this to happen, and just because I'm ready doesn't mean that it has to happen. Who cares what I think, right? The market does what it wants to do. Life doesn't care about what you want. It just does what it wants to do. But here on the daily time frame, we do have bullish divergence, higher lows right now, lower lows in the daily price. If we close here or lower, there is some bullish divergence to set up from. That could be nice. Doesn't mean that we're at our low, but it could be enough for a little bit of a reprieve. If today closes green, that bullish divergence goes away. Unfortunately, if we close above 00989, that bullish divergence goes away, unfortunately, but that's okay. Still wouldn't be a terrible look on the RSI, you know, to continue growing from the 40. But oftentimes you get oversold, you reject the 40. That's not a good thing. So I don't know. It feels like we're playing with fire a little bit here. 4 hour time frame, I'm not bearish on. It gives me hope that we go up to 1.03 cents. Anything above that would be miraculous. That'd be welcome. That'd be nice, but we'll see how it goes. I've got nothing else for you guys. I think I'm just repeating myself at this point. So hit the like button, subscribe. The 1 hour gives me hope as well. 15-minute time frame also gives me hope that we're moving up at least immediately. So I don't think that we're moving down just yet, but maybe by the end of today, maybe probably sometime tomorrow, that's when we'll begin moving down again. So time will tell. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. This could be the low. We're going to figure it out here soon. All right. Bye-bye.